Okay, so now we're going to talk about quantum computers. Quantum computers are expected to be developed within the next decade. And they do certain kinds of calculations very, very fast. In the general case of normal general purpose calculations, they're not much faster than normal computers. But for certain narrowly defined classes of problems, they can do things at incredible speeds. One of these specialty calculations that they can do is they can factor large integers. That means breaking a number into its prime factors. Why is this a problem for cryptographers? This is keeping cryptographers awake at night. And the reason why is because public key algorithms that are currently in use today, like RSA or Diffie-Hellman or elliptic curve algorithms, rely on the difficulty of factoring. And the reason why is because public key algorithms are all based on math problems that are easy to calculate in one direction, but difficult to calculate in the opposite direction. And probably the best example of this, that at least for the algorithms that are widely deployed today, is the factoring problem. So it takes almost no time to take two large integers and multiply them together. You can do that in the blink of an eye. But if you take the product of those two primes and try to factor it back into the two primes, that can take longer than the age of the universe, at least for the size of primes that we're normally using in currently deployed public key algorithms. So when you use your web browser with TLS to talk to your e-commerce site or your bank, or you're using PGP to encrypt your email, or SSH to log into a remote server, or maybe a VPN that's connecting your computer to a remote server. In all of these cases, they're using public key algorithms, and all of these public key algorithms depend on the difficulty of factoring. Diffie-Hellman depends on the difficulty of solving the discrete logarithm problem, but the discrete log problem is related to the factoring problem. So if you could build a computer that can factor really fast, then that computer can also compute discrete logarithms really fast, and that would attack the Diffie-Hellman algorithm. Elliptic curve algorithms also depend on the discrete log problem, and so and because the discrete log problem is related to the factoring problem, then again, the ability for quantum computers to factor large integers can pretty much wipe out all of the currently deployed public key algorithms, RSA, Diffie-Hellman, and elliptic curve. So this doesn't exist today. We don't have quantum computers that can do this today against cryptographic keys that are of sufficient size that we use today. But it's expected within 10 or 15 years, quantum computers will be able to do this. The reason why they can do this is because there's an algorithm called Shor's algorithm that can factor large integers that would take billions of years for a big supercomputer cluster to do. It can be done in just a few seconds on a quantum computer of sufficient complexity. So the quantum computers we have today are tiny little inconsequential machines as far as attacking the currently deployed encryption algorithms with the recommended key sizes. But within a decade or 15 years, we may see quantum computers that are sufficiently powerful to do this. And when that happens, the damage to all aspects of the information society will be terrible. Our military communications, our private communications, our e-commerce, banking transactions, our encrypted email, everything is going to be under threat if quantum computers reach sufficient levels of complexity. So this worries cryptographers to no end. But we have some ideas on how to counter this. We need to find math problems that are not related to factoring. And there are some math problems that are easy to calculate in one direction but difficult to calculate in the opposite direction that have nothing to do with factoring. And these math problems can be used to construct new public key algorithms that are immune to Shor's algorithm, which runs on a quantum computer. And thus could be regarded as a post-quantum algorithm, an algorithm that would be suitable for the post-quantum world, the world where your opponent is equipped with a quantum computer. And NIST is having a competition with several candidate algorithms, and this competition has been going on for the last couple of years and is now reaching the stage where the finalists are being evaluated. And when they make their final selection in a couple of years, we'll have a standard that defines a set of algorithms that are post-quantum algorithms that are not vulnerable to Shor's algorithm running on a quantum computer. So and then we have to roll this out and deploy it in all the protocols that we're using today. PGP, VPNs, TLS, especially TLS web browsers, all depend on that. And so it takes a very long time to roll this out. You have to do it on the servers, you have to do it in the clients. Every mail client has to do it to talk to the server. Public key cryptography is pervasively deployed using the classic public key algorithms that are going to be no good anymore. And we have to do it quickly. We have to hurry to do this. And the reason why we have to hurry is because intel agencies capture our traffic and archive it in vast disk farms, and then analyze it many years later or decades later when they are able to build quantum computers and retroactively analyze the traffic that they capture and archive today. So it's archived today and analyzed tomorrow. Perhaps some of you may have seen the NSA facility in the Utah desert. It looks like about the size of a Tesla gigafactory. It's huge and it's full of disk drives. And so they're archiving all this internet traffic that's encrypted and keeping it around in the hopes of decrypting it in the future when they have quantum computers. Even if you are using classic public key algorithms today that are protecting what you're sending today, you may regard the communications that you're engaging in as sufficiently sensitive that you don't want anyone to decrypt it even a decade in the future or 15 years or something like that. And so you have to migrate immediately to post-quantum algorithms. And, in fact, we should have done it years ago. So we have to get busy, and this is what's pressuring cryptographers. They're worried about quantum computers, and we have to get moving on this problem.